One more failure, and Elon Musk could have lost everything. SpaceX was near death, and Tesla was on the edge. But instead of walking away, he made one final bet. To understand that choice, we have to return to his childhood. Elon Musk was born in South Africa, far from Silicon Valley. From a young age, books became his private universe. While other kids played outside, Elon imagined rockets and worlds. Then, an old computer changed the way he saw life. He started teaching himself how to program, line by line. He did not just play games, he wanted to build them. To many around him, those dreams sounded strange and unrealistic. He often felt different, lonely, and hard for others to understand. But the more alone he felt, the further he looked. He wanted a bigger world and a better chance. So he left South Africa and headed toward uncertainty. Canada was cold, difficult, and nothing like a shortcut. He worked tough jobs and learned that ambition has a cost. Even when exhausted, he kept reading, learning, and planning. At university, he studied physics and business together. One taught him how the world works, the other taught him how companies work. Then, America opened the door to a much bigger stage. Silicon Valley was where bold ideas could become companies. His first major startup was Zip2, built in a tiny office. Zip2 helped newspapers bring city information onto the internet. There was no glamour, just long nights and constant pressure. Elon even slept near the office because every hour mattered. They had to convince people that the internet would matter. Slowly, Zip2 started attracting attention and serious interest. Eventually, Zip2 was sold, giving Elon his first big payout. But instead of relaxing, he used the money to build again. This time, he wanted to reinvent money on the internet. That ambition became X.com, an early online banking idea. The dream was simple: send money as easily as email. Competition was fierce, and the online payments race was heating up. After a merger, PayPal began to rise. PayPal made online payments feel easier and more trusted. But inside the company, conflict began to grow. Elon eventually lost control of the company he helped build. Later, PayPal was bought, and Elon received another fortune. Now he had money, but he chose the hardest paths. One dream stood above the rest, making humanity multiplanetary. In 2002, that dream became SpaceX. Many people thought a private rocket company was ridiculous, but Elon believed rockets could be built cheaper and smarter. Falcon 1 became the company's first real test. The first launch carried the hopes of the entire team. Then, it failed, and the dream seemed to burn with it. It was not only a rocket failure, it was emotional damage. The media and critics began doubting SpaceX even more. But the team studied the failure and prepared to try again. The second attempt carried even more pressure. But failure returned, and money kept disappearing. The engineers were tired, but they were still there. The third launch became another desperate chance. Then SpaceX failed for the third time. 3 failures in a row left the company near collapse. He chose one final launch instead of surrender. This was the moment that could decide everything. In mission control, every second felt heavy. The rocket rose, and nobody knew if it would survive. This time, Falcon 1 reached orbit. One success saved SpaceX from the edge. It proved that failure was not the end. Soon after, a major NASA contract helped SpaceX survive. The company was alive, and the mission became bigger. But while SpaceX fought to live, Tesla was also struggling. At the time, many people dismissed electric cars. Tesla wanted to prove electric cars could be exciting. It was not just clean, it could be fast. Elon invested deeply, even when the risk was enormous. But making cars was far harder than making software. Batteries, supply chains, and production became constant battles. Every delay threatened the company's future. Tesla was running out of money fast. He was trying to save two impossible companies at once. Then, the 2008 financial crisis made everything worse. He chose to risk his own fortune to keep going. That decision helped Tesla survive its darkest moment. Then, the Model S changed how people saw electric cars. Suddenly, electric cars could feel premium and desirable. Tesla became more than a car. It felt like technology on wheels. Software became part of the driving experience. Tesla also built charging infrastructure to support the future. The network made drivers believe electric travel was possible. Tesla kept turning engineering into spectacle. The Model 3 aimed to bring electric cars to the masses, but scaling production created another brutal challenge. Elon even slept in the factory during the hardest days. Slowly, the cars came, and Tesla gained momentum. As Tesla grew, Elon's influence and wealth grew with it. Meanwhile, SpaceX moved beyond survival and into dominance. Falcon 9 became a new chapter for reusable spaceflight. The wild idea was to bring rockets back and use them again. At first, that idea failed spectacularly, but every explosion became data for the next attempt. Then the booster landed upright, and history shifted. The room erupted because the impossible had become real. Reusability changed the economics of going to space. SpaceX also sent spacecraft toward the space station. A private company had entered a once government-only arena. Then, Starlink turned satellites into a global internet network. Thousands of satellites began wrapping the planet in connection. For remote places, that connection could change daily life. But Musk's biggest dream still pointed toward Mars. Starship was built for a goal that sounded like science fiction. Even its explosions were treated as part of learning. At SpaceX, failure was not shame. It was information. The final vision was a human future beyond Earth. Then Musk stepped into another frontier, the human brain. Neuralink aimed to connect minds with machines. The promise was powerful, especially for people with disabilities. But the idea also raised difficult ethical questions. The Boring Company tried to attack traffic from underground. The idea was strange, but the problem was real. Tesla also began showing a future filled with robots. The goal was machines that could support human labor. Then came artificial intelligence, another high-risk race. With XAI, Musk entered the fight for the future of AI. In 2022, he bought Twitter in a shocking deal. Twitter became X, and the controversy grew louder. Policies changed quickly, and many employees left. The platform turned into a battlefield of public opinion. Supporters saw Musk as a bold defender of the future. Critics saw him as unpredictable and too extreme. Reporters kept asking questions, and the world kept watching. His story became both inspiring and deeply controversial. Musk's leadership style is famous for brutal speed. That pressure creates breakthroughs. but it also creates burnout. Musk keeps choosing problems most people would avoid. He does not seem interested in easy roads. From Zip-2 to Mars, the pattern is always the same. A small idea grows when someone keeps feeding it. The first lesson from his life is to keep learning. The second lesson is to turn learning into real skills. The third lesson is to start small, but start. The fourth lesson is to survive failure and try again. The fifth lesson is to reinvest in the future. The sixth lesson is that no empire is built alone. There is no SpaceX without the engineers behind it. There is no Tesla without the workers building the cars. One person can start a vision. A team makes it real. That is why Musk's story must be seen from two sides. One side shows achievements that changed major industries. The other side shows pressure, mistakes, and public conflict. That contradiction is why people keep debating him. Tesla pushed the entire auto industry toward electric vehicles. Traditional automakers could no longer ignore the shift. SpaceX forced the space industry to rethink rocket economics. Starlink changed how people imagine internet infrastructure. AI and robots may become the next battlefield. Mars remains the farthest and most difficult dream. Musk often turns the future into a deadline. That can inspire people, but it can also exhaust them. He was doubted many times, but doubt rarely stopped him. Failure became a process, not a final sentence. SpaceX is the clearest example of that pattern. Tesla shows the same pattern in a different industry. With X, the story is still unresolved and controversial. With AI and robots, the future is even less certain. But Musk's journey clearly has not ended. From a lonely boy with a computer, he became a global builder. PayPal gave him capital, but risk gave him his legacy. His path kept jumping from one impossible field to another. He is not a perfect hero, and that matters. He is a dreamer, a builder, and a source of debate. And no matter how famous he is, he did not build alone. The rocket rises because thousands of people made it possible. Still, Musk is the kind of person who dares to begin. He rarely chooses the safe road. That is why his story inspires so many young builders. Every big project starts as something small and uncertain. The important thing is to start before it feels perfect. And when it fails, learn instead of disappearing. Standing back up quickly may be the real advantage. Maybe that is the spirit behind Musk's biggest wins. Think big, but turn big ideas into real work. Accept failure, but do not let it define the ending. Dreams become valuable only when they are built. So is Elon Musk a genius, reckless, or both? Whatever the answer is, the world will keep watching.